Welcome back. Once again, J.P.'s World of Wrestling. Your man J.P. here. So the subject of today, WWF home videos. Now what were WWF home videos? Well, they were home videos that were the WWF. No, just kidding. But WWF home videos, WWF would release these videos in video stores, and a lot of times they would be like just compilations of matches, various like house show matches from around the country. And sometimes it would be like a world tour home video, or like it'd be like world tour in 91 or world tour in 90 or 92, and it would just be like various matches from Europe and stuff like that. And but sometimes they would have like it would like profile a specific superstar. In fact, they still do those. They put them out on DVD, but it would like profile like Jake the Snake Roberts, and it'll show like a collection of Jake the Snake Roberts matches. And sometimes it would be a tag team or whatever. But there was one time when I went, and there was a video store near where I was living in Vancouver, Washington. I was living with my sister, but I came across uh, these two things: Best of WWF, Volume 18 and Volume 20. Now, I used to have these on VHS, and for a long time I had a bunch of these things on VHS. But then I discovered a guy that was selling them on eBay. He was selling like the DVD version of these, and I have this one and this one, this one, and then these other two. They have like the best of the WWF, and but they would also put pay-per-views out on home video. And like I've said before, I didn't get to watch the pay-per-views live, not until the late 90s, but that was when I was working full-time and I wasn't paying any rent because I was living with my parents. Um, but the only way that I got to see pay-per-views was through WWF home videos, and I was always so excited. When I would go to the video store and there was a new one that had been released. A lot of times it was stuff like this. Like it was like kind of a compilation, like, oh, the British Bulldogs or something. But they would also release the pay-per-views. And this here, WrestleMania 4, that's probably one of my most favorite pay-per-views of all time. And I don't know why, I don't know, I just always liked it, but this was WrestleMania 4. This is where the WWF Championship was put up in a tournament. Now, why was it vacant? Why was it put up in the tournament? Well, because Hulk Hogan was the champion, and the $1 Million Man had come in. He was this new character, this new heel, like rich guy character, and he came in and he told the guy that was interviewing him that I am going to buy the World Wrestling Federation Championship from Hulk Hogan. I'm going to offer him a bunch of money. Every man's got his price. I'm going to find Hogan's price, and I'm going to buy that title. So then Hulk Hogan was interviewed, and he asked if he was going to sell the title for the $1 Million Man, and Hulk Hogan kind of played it up like, yeah, I might just do that. That's a lot of money. But then he goes, no. He said another word, but I'm not going to say that. But he said, no, I'm not going to sell you the title. You want this, DiBiase? You come earn it. So then DiBiase said, okay, you don't want to sell me the title? I'm going to hire Andre the Giant to take it from you. Because Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant had a match scheduled. This was kind of a Saturday Night Main Event rematch from their WrestleMania 3 match. So they wrestle, and Andre the Giant wins. It was controversial, but nevertheless, Andre the Giant won the title, and then he immediately sold it to DiBiase. that's where like we had the twin referees that came down, and one of them was supposed to be the referee for the match, but DiBiase had, I don't know if he had hired his twin or he hired another referee and had him like surgically altered to look like the original referee. I don't know, but nevertheless, Hulk Hogan took the fake referee, threw him out of the ring, and so a couple days later on WWF television, Jack Tunney came on the screen and said, "I'm not going to allow this. DiBiase, you cannot buy the WWF Championship. Yes, there may have been some controversy with the Hogan-Andre match. I don't know. I'm not just going to give Hogan back the title. So what we're going to do, we're going to strip you, DiBiase, the title, and we're going to put it up in a tournament at WrestleMania 4. So WrestleMania 4 happens, and there is a big tournament. And it's one of the coolest things that personally I've ever seen. I like the tournament format. I always did. I always liked King of the Ring, and I always liked that tournament format. Some people, especially like guys in the wrestling industry, like Bruce Pritchard, guys like that, they're not really big on the whole tournament concept. I know Vince McMahon didn't really like the tournament concept, but as a fan, I liked it. So for me, it was the anticipation of who's going to win this title. Who's going to win this title? So obviously, Macho Man Randy Savage ended up winning the title. And the biggest shock of the night, though, was when Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant were both eliminated from the tournament at the same time. During their match in the second round of the tournament, they kind of both used a chair, and the referee had no choice but to disqualify both guys, so they were both gone. And at that point, I'm like, oh, wow. For the first time in a while, there's going to be a new WWF champion. For as long as I can remember, it was Hulk Hogan. As long as I had been a fan, the champion was Hulk Hogan. But now there was going to be a new champion. But thankfully, in my book, it was Macho Man because I liked Macho Man. He was a baby face. He had once been a heel, but now he was, best friends with Hulk Hogan, and I was okay with him being the champ. Well, but then a year later, WrestleMania 5. Now, the cool thing about this home video, though, is that these are all taken from VHS tapes. But this was taken from the original pay-per-view broadcast. And the reason I know this is because originally, during the pay-per-view, they had Rockin' Robin sing America the Beautiful. But for whatever reason, they started playing the music, and she didn't start singing. So then they restarted the song, and then she sang it after that. So this shows that. This shows that mistake. And all of these have the original music on them. They all have the original entrance music. And which to me, that's awesome. Even though the picture quality is not as good as when you watch it on the network. But like I said, the original entrance music, that really adds to the nostalgia. Then of course I got this one, WrestleMania 6 as well, but this is just the WWE release. This is not ripped from a VHS. This is just a WWE, and I have so many of those. I have so many WWF DVDs, and a lot of them are just of old pay-per-views. Some of them are more recent pay-per-views. Even though I was less interested in the recent stuff, but my first wife, Marcy, she was a wrestling fan too. So I kind of got back into wrestling just because she was into it. And we actually went to a couple of live WWF shows in Portland. And one of them, I'll tell you right now, is No Mercy 2008. But you can actually see her and I kind of up in the stands in the background, especially during a couple of the segments, a couple of the matches. You can physically see us in the stands. So I've been immortalized in WWF home video pay-per-view history. And there was there was like an episode of Monday Night Raw where if you look closely, you can see me kind of in the background because there was a segment where they had arrested one of the Bella twins. They were taking them away in handcuffs backstage, and you can actually kind of see me kind of turn around and look at what was going on. but you have to look really close because it was like really quick. But anyway, but WWF home videos, I thought they were cool. And when I would go to the video store, I would see new ones out and I would try to rent them. And most of the time, though, it was grocery stores. Grocery stores used to have these sections off to the side of the store where they would have racks of videos that you could rent. And a lot of times I would rent movies from there, but sometimes I would rent wrestling videos. And I remember my first experience with the very first WrestleMania, the first two WrestleManias, was when I lived in Reno, Nevada for like half a year. But there was a store nearby, and they had these videos for rent. And I rented WrestleMania 1 or WrestleMania 2. And I took them home and I watched them. And it took me I had to watch them a couple times because the first couple times, I don't know, like the quality wasn't really that good and the lighting, it wasn't the WWF I was used to because I came into it probably sort of a year after WrestleMania 2. But nevertheless, after a couple times, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is actually pretty cool. Like, especially WrestleMania 2, the matches were just so cool. I loved WrestleMania 2. But yeah, every time I'd be at a video store or, like I said, a grocery store, I would see these things, but they were VHS tapes, and I'd see a new one, I'd get excited, I'd rent it, I'd take it home, and me and my sister, Dina, would watch them. Really fun memories. So that'll do it today. Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to go more extensively into WrestleMania. That'll be a whole nother video, but I just wanted to talk about those in particular because I have memories of those. But anyway, if you're new here, you can feel free to go ahead and like, and you can subscribe, and I will see you next time.